Hey guys, Andrew McFarland here from StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope you're feeling amazing. And today I'm going to talk about the biggest vulnerability that juice bar franchises actually have. But before I get into that, if those of you who are new to the channel, if you don't know who I am and you don't know what we're doing, for over the last 10 years, I've been helping people like yourself, myself, and my agency. I have been helping people like yourself run and launch juice bar businesses all over the world. We've had the pleasure of helping hundreds of entrepreneurs launch in nearly every country you can imagine. And so this channel is really created to help give you guys tools, tips, and insights into how to launch and grow your juice bar business. And so diving in, if you're in a place where you're thinking about starting up your own juice bar business, naturally you're going to be thinking about, one of the first major questions that you have to ask yourself is, do I start my own brand or do I buy into an existing franchise? And now both of these scenarios have pros and cons. For us, we really focus on helping people build customized brands for their business so that they can have, one, the benefit of the cost savings and not having to have long-term royalties on a franchise, but also, two, so that they can have the freedom to adapt their business the way they want to adapt it. And if they want to franchise their business in the future, they have the opportunity to do that. So let's talk about the biggest vulnerability that juice franchises have in the modern day and age. And I want to make a distinction between two kinds of juice and smoothie bar franchises. There are the juice and smoothie bar franchises that I would put in the old paradigm category. And when I say old paradigm category, I'm really referring to businesses whose sole focus is really to give consumers drinks that are cold and taste good. These consumers of these particular franchises are not very health or quality focused. That's the old paradigm. The new paradigm of what we see happening in this industry is a lot of these new juice and smoothie bars that are launching are catering to a health-focused and health-conscious demographic. And so the values of these consumers are so different than the old paradigm juice and smoothie bars. And this is where everything is going, because the accelerated growth in this industry is really a byproduct of people seeing the tangible benefits of taking on a healthy lifestyle, and part of that is consuming juices, smoothies, can be acai bowls, salads, and these are all products that most new paradigm juice bars offer. So within this new paradigm of juice and smoothie bars, there are a number of franchises that you can look at, and I want to talk about some of the key vulnerabilities that exist now in these businesses that really don't in the same way exist for the old paradigm juice and smoothie bars, and I'll explain why. So the main two elements are, one, when you're buying into a franchise, they really have a limited menu. And I don't mean limited in terms of size, but they have a menu that's really already set. And that's in some ways the gift and the curse. The gift is that you can buy into a menu that is already created for you. You don't have to do all the work on. But the curse is that if anybody's owned a food service business, you realize that your menu and the ability to adapt and change your menu is so important, because that's your product and that's where your profits are coming from. And if you don't have the ability to make changes to your menu based on customer preferences, right, things that are trending in the environment, certain ingredients you want to bring in, then you're very vulnerable. And other companies that are more agile and we can say more lean will have the ability to adapt their menus more quickly than you will, if you can even adapt your menu at all, and therefore will have a competitive advantage in being able to serve customers in your market more specifically, right? And in a way that's catering to their needs and their desires, which we all know are going to evolve. We've all seen things that happen in the health food world and certain trends that come in and out. And for you as a business owner, it's not so important that you are locked into whatever the trend is at the moment. It's actually, can you adapt to the things that are coming and changing in the market. So that is one of the biggest vulnerabilities that franchises have. And the second one that I want to mention is that when you're dealing with companies that, one, you don't own, that are also getting larger, the vulnerability of all big businesses, for the most part, is they tend to move slow. And so somewhat related to the statement that I made earlier is when things are changing in a market and things are evolving, when you've got a big corporate entity that might have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 stores, they are going to have locations in different markets. Some might be on the East Coast of the US, the West Coast, some might be in other countries, and which means that their ability to move quickly and adapt is going to be a lot slower than you as a business owner who owns your brand directly, because you can get specific feedback. You can watch your POS and you can say, oh, you know what, we need to develop products for these 2 locations here in this way, or for our singular store, if you just have one location, we need to do it this way. Whereas if you're a part of a franchise, the vulnerability of those larger businesses is they generally can't adapt to the market quickly, and whether they choose to adapt at all. And because some of them may or may not, we don't know the answer to that. And some adapt really, really slowly, and some juice and smoothie bar companies will have one set menu and they might keep that forever. And as a business owner, your product costs are going to fluctuate depending on what's in season, what things you need to source. And so we've even seen things in the industry where things like, maca or goji berries or even celery right now, these products, because they're become such a high and intense demand for them, the prices for these products can just shoot through the roof. Now, what do you do as a business owner if you don't have the ability to change your recipes or to change the ingredients of your product? Guess what? You're going to be stuck with having cost of goods and product costs that may suffocate and stifle your business and reduce your profits to the point where it could eventually even put you out of business. And so adaptability is everything. And the thing that I want to go back to is, kind of comparing the old paradigm juice and smoothie bar businesses to the new paradigm, is that in the old paradigm, ingredients don't matter so much, right? The product just has to taste good, and so the consumers aren't in those demographics that concerned with quality. Whereas in this new paradigm, that is everything. And so that means that it's going to be a much more dynamic way of running and operating a business, because your need to respond to what's happening in the market, consumer demands, things that people are learning, ingredients that are becoming more popular, is much more essential to your success, because the consumers are focused on that as being a high value point in your business. And when you're in a franchise, you aren't going to have a lot of freedom and a lot of leverage to adapt to those things, if you have any at all, because in most situations you actually don't have any at all. So this is something you have to be really, really aware of. And obviously there are other elements, and we've done more videos. You can check the channel out for other videos we've talked about in terms of the pros and cons of franchising. And I don't want to make it seem like it's only negative, right? There are benefits to buying into franchises, but from our perspective, we generally don't recommend it, because we have the capacity to, as a company and as an agency, give you all the benefits of working with a franchise without any of the downsides. So you can create your own brand from scratch. We can adapt it with all the proven systems that we know work in this industry over the last 10 years and more. And you have the freedom to respond to your customer, respond to your environment in a way that allows you to evolve over time to stay relevant, which is a big issue with other companies that may be relevant for a moment or may have been relevant 5 years ago, but we also know things are always changing. Like cold pressing is now something that's becoming, in some ways, the industry standard, which even 5-10 years ago wasn't the case. And so these things always evolve, and you have to be able to adapt with the market. So I hope this gives you guys some information if you are thinking about franchising. And if you guys do need support and you want to talk to us about how we can help you develop your custom concept, reach out to me personally. You can reach me at Andrew@StartAJuiceBar.com. Would love to have that conversation with you guys. And if you guys aren't following us on Instagram, there's a link there. You can follow us on Instagram. If you're not listening to our podcast, we've got our podcast on iTunes. We've also got it on Spotify. We also have all the links to all of our podcast episodes on our website, so you can just learn more about the industry, because we're here really to empower you so you can run this business with confidence and with effectiveness and efficiency. And so, as always, wishing you guys a lot of success. This is Andrew McFarland, and we'll see you guys at the next video. Take care.